Hi, welcome to SBR Forum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. This is our weekly Major League Baseball preview show that we do with Troy West from allplayswin.com. We take a look at some of the upcoming series from the upcoming weekend and week games, and we think about which series might have some value one way or the other, even though we don't know what the lines will be as yet. So, it's hard to anticipate value when you don't know the lines, but we do it anyway. I think it's a pretty valuable, profitable show. Troy, thanks for being back with us.
Hey, thanks a lot, Pete. I appreciate it. Yeah, one quick thing. We did hit our big play as the Seattle Mariners run line took care of the Astros. And then actually on Saturday, we had our 25 unit, our biggest play this far in the MLB. The Milwaukee Brewers took care of Randy Wolf and the Miami Marlins. They won 8-1, and that was a 25 unit play. So come take a look, allplayswin.com.
Nice, awesome. So you're doing well overall in baseball on the year?
We are. We're doing really well, Pete. As I said and mentioned in the past videos, we're very selective, especially with our larger plays.
Right.
And so far, larger plays and our plays on Seattle have just been outstanding. Games that really aren't even close. So really encourage people to come take a look. We're very selective, profitable company, allplayswin.com.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for doing these calls with us. I know it's tough to put yourself out there and preview series where there's no lines yet, but I know you're that kind of handicapper. You'll give your opinions. You don't care. You let your record speak for itself at your site. Okay. Now we're going to take a look at some of the upcoming weekend games, and I think the operative phrase for this week is low-hanging fruit, and I think I got two series here that might fit that bill. First one is KC at Toronto. We know that Toronto's absolutely rolling. They've been the most profitable team in all of baseball by far in May, plus 44% ROI. KC, we know the deal with them, just a mediocre team in general. They've been a particularly bad bet in May, minus 25% ROI, and even though Toronto was a little bit shaky at home in April, in May they picked it up, 9-4 in May at home, plus 33% ROI. Is this a no-brainer bet on Toronto this series?
Yeah, I think so, as long as they're not too overvalued. But
right.
Yeah, like you said, Pete, they've won 9 out of their last 10. They're getting pitching from guys you and I have never heard of, guys like Drew Hutchinson starting to pitch well. Mark Burley's come out from the dead. R.A. Dickey's finally starting to pitch a little bit better. Even J.A. Happ is pitching better. So this is a team that, you just absolutely have to bet. Look at the lineup. Edwin Carnacion, absolutely on fire. This whole lineup 1 through 9 is good. Their bullpen's been better. And then, as you said, Pete, KC, what has happened? This young kid in Ventura, the kid's been awful as of late. He's been automatic fade material. He's overvalued in just about all his starts. Even the Houston Astros lit him up last week. So, I haven't been a big believer in Toronto. Maybe they'll cool off. But in terms of going into this series, I got to think they'll take at least 2 of 3. As long as you're not seeing the minus 180s, the minus 200s, I think they're a good bet.
Yeah, the key to all these games, obviously, is the lines, and we don't know where those lines will be, but we can anticipate it and approximate it and think about what we might be looking for just when the lines come out and the series start. All right, and then the next one, low-hanging fruit, in my opinion, fading the Cubs is always a piece of fruit that's just sitting there on the bottom branch. And this weekend they're going up at Milwaukee, and the Cubs they've actually been a little bit better in May, just minus 5% ROI in May, but that's still a negative ROI. And Milwaukee has struggled a bit in May, minus 19% ROI, but that includes when they had some injuries earlier in the month. And I'm just looking at this. I'm thinking if you take Milwaukee, how much on the wrong side can you wind up being? Probably not that much. And the upside is obviously a sweep could easily happen here. Do we take Milwaukee?
Pete, I actually looked at this pretty closely, and I put a big pass next to it. Do I dare say the Chicago Cubs have a big 3 in their pitching staff? Maybe not a big 3, but they do have Travis Wood, Jason Hamill, and Jeff Samardzija, and all 3 of those guys are going in this series. I know the win-loss doesn't necessarily pay off for these 3, but the ERAs aren't too bad, and it scares me somewhat to have an undervalued Cubs in this particular series. So I wouldn't argue to ever take the Cubs, but with those 3 pitchers going in the same series, I'm going to have to say pass, just because on any given night, any of the 3 of those guys can throw a decent ball game. So overall pass, but I do think fading the Cubs is going to be a good bet the rest of the year.
All right. Awesome analysis, Troy West. And I will officially pull my recommendation for betting on Milwaukee blindly in that series. My only personal recommendation this weekend is take Toronto over KC. What do you have for us from the weekend series, Troy?
Yeah, I don't have particular pitching matchups quite yet, but I do think you're going to see an overfest in the Colorado-Cleveland series. Neither team's pitching staffs have been anything to speak of. Bullpens have been very shaky. We know both teams got great lineups. I like the fact Colorado's going into Cleveland. I think it's going to be a fun series with a lot of runs. So I think 2 of 3 you're going to get overs in that series. So I'm going to go over in the Colorado-Cleveland series.
All right, well, Colorado has been an over-trending team both at home and on the road this year, so can't argue with that. Troy West from allplayswin.com. Thanks so much.